This is the Q1 2024 full Collab cohort demo. We've already done teams 66, 67, 68, and 69. Sorry that I did not record. We're capturing just the rest of this so that we can have feedback later on. Sorry, friends. Okay, I will pass it over to 70. Sorry, and thank you.
Hi, everyone. Let me share my screen. Okay, can everyone see that? Okay, great. So I was part of group 70, which is me, Leon, Amanda, and Grace. And this is our app, Swift Shop. And Swift Shop is a smart shopping list, which means that it can predict when you'll need to buy an item, and it will sort your list based on how soon you'll need to repurchase the items. The purpose is to make your shopping experience both easier and efficient, so you can swiftly get through your shopping list. And that's where the name comes from, where Swift means quick, but it also is the name of a bird and our mascot. So when you get to the page, you'll see that there's a little card here where you can sign in, and it takes you to, once it signs in, hopefully it signs in. Yeah, it takes you to the home page. At the top, you'll see that there's a nav bar where you have all the lists to the different pages, as well as the name of the user that signed in and the sign up button. And there's also a little tiny button here at the corner that is our dark mode. So at the top here, you'll see a form to add a new list, a new item, and you'll see a bunch of cards. So each card is a list that the user has access to. And in each card, you'll see that there's a avatar that has an icon in it. Currently, the icons are randomly generated. And below that, you'll have a little button with the name of the list. Once you click that button, it should take you to the list page where you see all of the items on that list. And below the button, there are two options. There you have either share this list or you have shared by another user. So when you click the share button, there should be a modal that pops up, and it gives you the option to invite someone to your list. And in order to see the share function working, I'm going to call on my fellow Collabie Leon to share a list with me. Hopefully it works, and you should see a new list pop up on my screen. Leon, you're there?
Yes, I'm here. I will swiftly share a list. It's gonna be called apple pie.
Okay, great.
All right, it should be shared.
Oh, there it is. Nice. So you should see Leon's list, and it's apples, just pies. Okay, so back to the form on the page. So there, you can add lists using the form. I mean, the submit button is disabled if there's nothing in the input. Once you start typing, it should be functional. When you add a list that already exists, it should give you an error. It says name should be unique. It's kind of tiny, but so you need to add something that's not been added before. So let's say birthday party. Once you submit it, there should be birthday party is added to the list, and there it is at the bottom. Heading over to the list page, you'll see here is that you have the name of the list up here, as well as a form to search for the items, another form where you can add an item, and also all of your items within that list. So looking at each of the items here, you see the list, the item name, as well as a checkbox next to it. And once you click the checkbox, the app makes note of when you purchased an item, and it calculates when you need it again based on the input you gave earlier in this form. So when you click here, you get a little confirmation and you say yes. So adding an item, you can't add duplicate items either, like as in the item form. So as in the list form, sorry. So if I add eggs and you add kind of soon, it gives you an error that says item already exists. So we also have a little legend here to tell you what those words mean. Soon means within, you need it within 7 days, 7 to 29 days, or 30 to 59 days. So let me add something that's not on the list. What can we add? We have bread, strawberry butter. Let's add ice cream. Go ahead and submit that. And there you have it on the list. You can also delete items by just clicking this little button. And you can, okay. Over in the search items, it's really fun because even if you do that, you can see it update as you go along. So I don't have any eggs. I should have added eggs. So if you go E, everything with E shows up. Go with B, everything with B. And as you type, it narrows it down. So that's it. And we have an about page where you can see about this app, as well as the Collab Lab and all of the developers. We also have made the entire app responsive so that when you shrink it down, you get the navigation goes at the bottom here so you can easily navigate it. Yeah, I think that's it. Okay. Notes on the experience. I think the most interesting thing we did was we added in the name of the owner here. I think in the future we can do things where we can make the avatar customizable. So things that we learned during the cohort. I learned personally about teamwork. I learned about demos and retros. I learned how important it is to communicate, especially when you're peer programming. And that's about it. I like to give a big shout out to all of my fellow Collabies who showed up no matter what. They were always on time. They were always, nobody ever canceled. And a huge shout out to the mentors that anytime you shouted into Slack, they would show up and someone show up and help out. So yeah, that's it.
I love that. Sounds like such a strong team. That's what it's about. Collaboration. Good work, y'all. All right, let's pass it over to 71. Who's gonna rep 71?
Hey everyone, this is Borja from Team 71 with my teammates Celine, Judith, and Viviana. And I will start sharing my screen now. Okay, before starting to showcase the application, we wanted to talk a bit about our process during the past few weeks with the styling part of the development. When we got to this issue, what we did was create a Figma file in which we made a mood board, which we used to gather inspiration for our application. And when we more or less knew what we wanted, we started by creating some mock-up designs of the application. And once we had a design we liked, we designed all of the views of the application in this Figma file, and we started developing the styling from that. So now I will go to the application. And this is Despensa and Think Your Pantry. Despensa is a wordplay between the Spanish words despensa, which means pantry, and piensa, which is from the verb pensar, to think. So despensa and think your pantry. I will now log into the application. Okay, and now we're inside. This is a brand new account, or as if it was a brand new account. So from here, we can start creating lists. If we don't enter a list, we get a warning. This is the way we implemented the warning dialogues throughout the application. So if I enter a name, we are now redirected to the list view. And from here, we can start adding items on the manage list view. So let's say I want broccoli for today. So I can now select when I think I'm going to need this item. So let's say soon. And for example, let's say for next week, I will want to make something with cauliflower. So we can select soonish. And for later, not soon. And if we go to the list view, we can see the items we've added here. And we can also share the list with a teammate. I will share it with my teammate Viviana, and she will take it from here.
Okay, I will share now the mobile view of our app. So let me just share my screen. Okay, now we are seeing my list view. Let me go to all my lists so we can see here the list that Borja just shared with me, this groceries list. We decided to add here these buttons to make the app more intuitive, to give the user to the manage list page. So we can now interact with these items here. For example, let's delete this broccoli item. And we got, as you have seen, this dialogue to confirm or cancel the action. So let's go to the other list with more items so we can see how we have the items classified for a next purchase date. So in order, and then we have here the filtering. So if I start typing here, my list gets filtered. Once I clear the input, I get all the list again. Lastly, we can just see the check box. Let's check this coffee item here as purchase. So it gets to the last part of the list of this bunch of items, and let's check it in Firestore when we can see that the date gets also updated. So if I change it here, I again have the coffee item unchecked. So with that, we have all our current functionality covered. We have some more features that we would love to add to our apps. For example, the dark mode, and also maybe allow users to join themselves to a list instead of needing to be invited to a list. So maybe we will be working on those during next weeks. And also, we want to share some personal thoughts from the whole team. What was more valuable for us during these weeks was that we learned a lot about team working, especially working in a agile environment. And also we value that we get to have pair programming sessions with people that we didn't know. So we get used to see how other people think and how other people look for solutions. So that was great. Also, it was great for work on self-confidence, on when showing our work and showcasing our work to others, and also when writing about our works and explaining our work. Yeah, as some feedback we have is that we found in some cases some issues that were not so clear, and we spent some time trying to refine a bit the criteria. And also we create some issues in some subjects that was not covered. For example, the navigation inside the app. this delete list function. And so yeah, that's it for our part. But to sum up, we wanted to say a big thank you to Andrew, Stacy for creating the Collab Lab, and of course to our mentors, but also to all the people that make this experience so great to be part of. And yeah, it was really transformative to be part of this. And yeah, I look forward to contributing back to the community. So thank you.
I love that. Thanks for all of the love, and thank you to your team and all the teams who do take that time to do that extra refinement of the things like tickets, so that we can make those changes for everybody in the next 17. Thank you. Okay, let's move to team 72.
Hi, my name is Jamila Mohammed. I'm from the Netherlands. I'll be doing the demo for Team 72. So I'm going to start by sharing our screen, my screen. Here we go. So, can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah, cool. Okay, so this is our smart shopping list. One thing to note is that other functionalities are locked away, so you can't even click on the other pages unless you've signed in. So that's pretty relevant for so whoever's using the app. It has to be someone who's already signed up. So I will start by signing in. And after a while, it will load my name. Okay, so then right now it's generating my existing list. So right here, I can create a new list. TV shows that maybe I want to watch later on. Register list. And then an alert will pop up saying the list is registered. Now it's an empty list, so it will automatically redirect to the list page, and it will ask me to add an item to my empty list. So that's what I'm going to do, and then it will go to manage list. And here I can add TV shows that I've been meaning to watch. So Dexter's recently on Netflix, so that's what I want to watch, and pretty soon, yes. And then a notification pops up that it's been saved to the database. I can share this also to somebody. We've done error handling with this as well. So if you enter an email address that's not a user that's already signed up, then it will not recognize that email address. But if I enter my own, for example, then it will share. So I'm going to show what the list page looks like when you've already got items in it. Let's see. I don't know why I named this shoes. It should have been clothing, but okay. So this is what the list page looks like when you have items in it. So when I added this item, I said that I wanted to buy it soon. So if I click it like this, it crosses it out. And it changes to kind of soon because I've said that I want to repurchase again. So yeah, that's our app. Some of the things I've learned. One of the things I've been really grateful about is learning how to use Git and GitHub correctly, because when you're starting a programmer, you tend to overlook a lot of those things because you're not really sharing your work or collaborating with anyone. You're just a self-starter. You're learning by yourself. But what I was really able to appreciate is that I learned how to do a Git flow and really be able to share and work with branches as well. That was something very new to me. I always push the main. I did not know there was such a thing as like creating a new branch, and so that was nice to do. And another thing that I'm really grateful to learn is collaborating with other developers, pair programming, and working with Firebase. That was also a new thing for me. So very happy with that. Thank you.
Lovely. Yes, exactly that. Like the human element of collaboration is only one part of it. There's also the logistical, technical part of learning how to collaborate with these engineering tools. So I'm glad that that was helpful for you. I hope
Yeah.
that everybody can go out into their job now and feel more confident doing those things. It can be kind of scary. Great. Okay, let's pass over to our last but not least team, Team 73.
Hello, I'm Paige from TCL 73, and I'm gonna be wrangling the screen. But Jose, one of my teammates, is gonna also help me presenting. So,
Hi guys, how's it going? My name's Jose. So this is our app. So we created this app for people who grocery shop regularly. People maybe shopping for personal use or for a business or an office. You know, throughout the design process, we've had accessibility in mind. You know, really focusing on like user experience and overall easy utility. So yeah, upon first entering the app, you'll see that there's a sign in and sign out button on the top right. And now we're signed in and we can see our list. We also have a dark mode, light mode toggle on the top right. And the dark mode toggle actually presets to the user's device preference. So Paige, if you want to demonstrate that. Just just change the theme on your device.
oh, yes. Yeah.
So it allows you to do that. And but the app also allows users to change their preference manually, and that preference will persist across page refreshes. So we've also implemented toasts that'll inform a user when they've successfully completed an action, such as creating a list. And also when adding items to a list. As well as sharing a list. And our toasts also handle any errors that a user might encounter, such as sharing with an invalid email or adding a duplicate item.
Yeah.
Or attempting to delete a list that isn't ours. So this is our homepage here. This is all of our lists, lists that we've created and lists that other users have shared with us. Right now we have, we're not like differentiating lists that are owned by us and lists that are shared with us, but that is one of the next tickets on our list that we're going to take care of. You'll see on the bottom left corner, we've implemented some little icons there that'll link to our repo. And also an icon that'll link you to the Collab Lab website. So yeah, these lists, you can click on one and it'll automatically redirect you to that list. And you'll see these items have, sorry, can you just go back to one of those lists? We have our purchase priority displayed. And these are listed, these are sorted in order of priority. So the overdue items at the top, followed by soon, kind of soon, and then the inactive items all the way at the bottom. And each little badge there that shows the purchase urgency will tell you exactly how soon you'll need to purchase that item. And also, of course, we've made this app responsive.
All the pages.
Yep. So yeah, I'll pass it back over to Paige.
Yeah, so also on the list page, we implemented, at the top, you can see the list name. We wanted users to be able to see what list they were on when they were on the list page. This is also implemented on the manage list page. And then similarly to that, down at the bottom of the list page, it'll tell users who the owner of the list is. So I own this list, this HEB one, and we had it persist at the bottom even while scrolling through the list so that you don't have to like scroll to the bottom of the list to see that you own it. It's always there. And that'll also be on the manage list page. If I click on a list that I don't own, I can see the list name and then I can see that this belongs to somebody else. Same thing on the manage list page. And similar to how we thought of accessibility a lot, we had the text change also with the purchase priority badges in the light and dark mode. And then we spent a lot of time on the toasts. So, and the errors, making sure that users would get appropriate errors if they tried to do like an email that exists but is not in the database. The toast will tell users like, oh, also, if you're not the owner of the list, you aren't allowed to share it. That goes along with the similar protection where if you try to delete a list that isn't yours, you can't do that. And then, yeah, the whole thing is responsive. We also wanted to create like a 404 not found page so that if users somehow manage to navigate to a page that doesn't exist, there's a page that says not found, and then it navigates you back to the home page. And then, yeah, we implemented a ton of extra functionality like that in designing the app, and we had a lot of things that we weren't really able to get to. So we do want to eventually add some kind of badge on the home page, maybe similar to our purchase priority on the list page, displaying if the list is yours or if it's one that has been shared with you. We also want to allow users to edit their data, like if they want to edit the list name, or if they want to edit an item name, or even the purchase priority if they suddenly don't need to buy noodles again for another like 3 weeks or however long. And then we also want to try to implement adding in notifications in some way, maybe via their Gmail or something to let users know when a list has been shared with them or when like items are about to be due to be purchased. Because we think that would be really nice and add to like the accessibility of the app and the user experience. Other than that, I think me and my other teammates all just really want to thank our mentors. They were really amazing and created a really welcoming, safe space for us to collaborate and work together. And they always reminded us about accessibility and like best practices and things that we could do. Yeah. This was a great experience. Thanks for listening to our presentation.
I love it. Thank you for presenting. These were all incredible. And I'm so sorry for forgetting to record the first couple because they were so perfect and I missed it. So I posted in Slack, but 66 is going to hang around and do another one after we wrap this on the same call. 67 and 68 are going to do a recording post in Cohort channel. 69, you're welcome to hang out and do it again or do a recording if you wish. But I want to thank you all so much for spending your time with the Collab Lab over the last 10 weeks. Once a collabie, always a collabie. Stick around, have fun, continue learning, continue collaborating. If you're interested in mentoring or just helping us do things like, updating the curriculum and some of the issues or the base projects that we use, we love all the help we can get. It's completely volunteer driven here, as you know. So any effort that you can give, we absolutely love. Else, we are always here for you 2 years later. If you need us to come back and ask, we're always here for you. But stick around. We love to see people stick around. Any final thoughts from anybody else before we wrap Q1 2024's demo?
I don't know, maybe, hi, I'm Andrew. Haven't been around this cohort, but it's so fun to see just, all the hard work that the curriculum committee put into kind of revamping the projects, and you all just took it and ran with it. I saw, I kind of followed along a little bit and saw there were a couple places where things could be smoothed out or something, but for the most part, these apps were they're so great and they're so kind of professional and like this is, these are things you could kind of continue to use and work on, after the cohort's over. So great work demoing. All the creativity around all the different features and the designs, obviously, and everything was really fun to see. And I love the attention to accessibility. So great work, mentors, and obviously Collabies, amazing. Good job.
Well, yes, there's something to be said about hitting roadblocks with things like Firebase and having to walk through them. So that is good engineering. Well done, friends. Great. Okay, well, it was lovely to see you all. If you have to drop, please do. 66 is going to do it all again for the recording, and we'll look forward to seeing the other ones in Slack. Good work, everybody.
Great. Nice
Here
job.
for if you need
See ya.
anything. Bye, friends. All right, 66. Sorry. I'm excited to see you do it again.
So good,
sorry.
we're doing it again.
Yes,
Thank you.
exactly. I'm
Thank
sorry,
you.
friends. Okay, over to
All right.
you.
Okay. All right. So, hey everyone, I'm part of TCL 66, along with my group members, Hannah, Stephanie, and Elo. And just before I continue, everyone can hear me okay?
Yep, perfect.
Okay. All right. Let me share my screen. 1 second. Okay. Can everyone still hear me?
Yep, perfect.
Okay, great. Thanks. All right. So here we have our shopping list application. I'm going to sign out and sign in so you can see how the sign in works with the Google account that I'm signed in on. And as you'll see, the application works on desktop version. It is a fully responsive application that also works on mobile view. So we can start off by looking at a list that we've previously created. I did just want to highlight that as we do navigate to lists, in the nav bar, the list item is noted here with a blue bullet point so that the user is able to see which lists that they're currently viewing. And that's particularly useful as well in mobile view when there are multiple lists populating this nav bar. And if we click here, that takes us back to the home page, again, displaying our lists. So we'll start off by creating a list, which we can do either with the new list button here in the nav bar or with the add list button on the home page. So we'll create a list. If we attempt to create a blank list, we'll get a notification to name it. So create a list, Trader Joe's 2. So the list has been added, and it'll redirect us to the list automatically that we've just created. So we can add our first item and give it an urgency in terms of when the next time is that we'll need to buy that item. So we can add eggs to the list, and as you can see, it has the kind of soon urgency here. If we do check mark that item to indicate that we've bought it, then the urgency will change to checked. We can also uncheck it to undo that action. So I'm going to add a second item here just so you can see the search functionality that we've incorporated in the application. So we receive a notification here that the item was in fact added, and we can search the list. And when we do start typing, it will filter out the items in the list, showing us which ones we're looking for. The other piece of functionality I did want to mention was that you can also, if you attempt to add a blank item, then the app will throw an error indicating that we need to add a name and a time frame for the item. If you were to attempt to add an item with different punctuation, spacing, or a different case format, the app would catch that and throw an error. So if, for example, we wanted to add apples and give it a smiley face and an exclamation point, and just really choose chaos with our casing here, like that, the app would still catch it and let us know that it is already in the list. So that is the add item safeguard that we added. I'm going to ask Allo to go ahead and, whenever they have time, share a list with me from their list genius, so that it shows up in my shared with me navbar. And while they're doing that, I do want to demonstrate the delete item functionality. So we can, or I'm sorry, delete. Yeah, we'll start with the delete item functionality and then a delete list functionality. So we'll start by deleting an item and be prompted by the application that the action is permanent or forever, ever. So deleting it removes it from our list. And if I want to just get rid of the Trader Joe's list altogether, I can do that, and I'll receive a similar toast notification from the application that this action is permanent. So that list is now gone. And let's see. I do want to show, at least show the share functionality while I'm waiting on the list to be shared with me from Allo. So if, for example, I wanted to share with Allo the Trader Joe's list, I can click here and share that list. This is the modal that pops up, which allows us to select, we can select Trader Joe's to share with Allo, and we also have a multi-share functionality, so we can share two lists if we wanted to. And I'll just show you what it looks like when sharing. If we do share, we'll receive a confirmation that the lists were in fact shared with Allo, and they will be able to then see it in their Genius list Genius. So the last thing I'd like to do is also show that if I were to attempt to delete a list that is not my own, but that has been shared with me, such as pet supplies, the toast notification will pop up, and the phrasing is slightly different, just letting me know that I will lose access to that list. So the list will not be deleted from the database. This in particular, I know is Allo's list, so it will stay in Allo's list Genius set of lists, but I will just be the one losing access to it permanently unless Allo decides to reshare it with me.
I don't know what's happening on my end, but for some reason my thing isn't sharing. So will you share one with
Sure.
me? It was
Yeah,
working
I can.
here, but something is happening.
For the
No
recording's
worries.
sake, Allo's thing worked previously when it demoed, so.
Yes, it
Good
did.
work.
Yes, it did. I can, so I'll create, no worries. I will create another list. Okay, we'll name it Mariano's. And there's Mariano showing up. I'll add an item.
Yeah, I'm getting a weird Firebase error, which I haven't gotten before. So
That's strange. Okay. So I'm sharing this list with Allo, and it should work. So Allo has been invited to the list. Let me know if it's coming. Is it coming up on your end, Allo, the Mariano's list?
yeah, I have Mariano's.
Great. Okay. I'm just going to, all right, before we switch to Allo and allow them to share their screen to show you that that's been confirmed. I also just want to point out that because I've shared it, there's a handy avatar that pops up here that shows how many people we've shared the list with. And if I click on that, it will show that the list has been shared with Allo. And I also have the option to unshare it by clicking the trash icon there. And a prompt will appear letting me know that I can unshare that list. And the last thing I do want to do before signing out is just show you what the app looks like from an iPhone view. So again, as I mentioned previously, we created this app to be fully responsive. So here is a list. Here is the nav bar, which is fully capable of being accessed in mobile view. And this is this is the home view of the app as it appears in the mobile view. Lastly, let me get rid of this. We have an app info application information modal here that will walk through the core functionality of the application for the user the first time that they've signed in. So it explains the urgency functions, how to add a new list, and it also includes the GitHub accounts of all of the awesome members of TCL 66 who put this together. We also include a special thanks to our group of mentors who guided us throughout the whole program and were very supportive. So here is the sign out functionality, which returns us to the landing page. And with that, that concludes our full app demo. And I'm just going to pass it over to Allo, who will confirm that the share list functionality has functioned properly.
Yeah. Also, I think I figured out my issue. I think for some reason, whatever list I was trying to share, we must have changed something in the database since the last time. And so it was like giving me an error that the document doesn't exist. And I'm like, but it does. And I have shared it before. Okay, let me share. Okay, cool. So, yeah, so over here on my list, down here are the shared lists. So as we were showing before, is that Mariano's list. And then I can update it as well. Something that I did want to point out that we didn't talk about in the first demo is something that we were super intentional about is when we check off an item. Let me find one. Oops. Yeah, so when we check off an item, it's going to move it based on the algorithm of the functionality in our list. So we kind of like spent some time really looking at what that function from that library that we were using does. And it takes the time and it averages it each time that you're checking an item or purchasing an item. But we also wanted to undo that. So when we undo this, it goes back to its original placement. And the way that we did that is we added to our schema to have like a previous last purchased and a previous last like projected or something like that. I don't remember exactly how we named it. And that way, when we check it, it saves whatever the previous data was into those values. And then if we uncheck it, it gives us back those so that we can kind of maintain the state of how we want it without kind of messing with our algorithm. That way, if we're like checking it and unchecking it and checking it and unchecking it, it's not like continually going to change when it should need to be purchased. It should just be the same each time. That would change after 24 hours because after 24 hours, it will uncheck itself. So that's the only thing that changes with that. The other thing is I did add a functionality. So you can click up here to get to your main page, but you can also click here. I don't know if I ever told Amelia that. So that was another thing that we added in. And then kind of one of the choices that we were going through as well, or I guess I was going through, I kind of was like coming up with features I wanted to do and would be like, I'm gonna make this feature. And then I would just kind of like start on it because I had a lot of free time. And so like the delete list function, when I was looking into how to do the delete list, I really was trying to figure out like, okay, do I want to delete the list for me and for everyone else? Am I deleting it just for me? And I had made the decision to kind of delete it for everyone because if I'm like, this is my list. I don't want you to have this list. Then like if I delete it, then like you shouldn't have access to a list that I've deleted, which was kind of like my thought process behind that. And the cool thing about it is like if you're on your if if you're on someone else's list and you know, well, first of all, we don't really give we give the option to delete it on our list page. But when we delete it, what it does is it just removes that reference point instead of like deleting the whole database. That way the user who created it is the only one who actually gets to delete all of the items for it. So just some cool like things. Firebase was also really new for us and wow, it does a lot. And there's a lot of it. I prefer it over MongoDB though, which is what I learned. So that's something that we thought about. Yeah. And then to talk about something that we talked about in the first demo is we chose Tailwind for the scalability and also because it tends to be, it's kind of like the up and coming thing right now. I don't want to say it's like up and coming per se because it's kind of been out for a while, but I mean like it's the popular thing. So we made that as a decision to kind of like prepare us for any like future positions that might be utilizing Tailwind. And then Flowbyte was something that Hannah had previously used before that you can build upon Tailwind with. So that was something that we also utilized. And then, oh, I'm going to stop sharing for a second because I'm only sharing one screen, but I do want to show the Figma design because that was something that we didn't show, but I think would be kind of cool to show. This was the first time that I got to pair program, which I had a lot of fun with. It was terrifying, the very first one. But after that, I got a lot better. Okay, I'm going to show this, and then I'm also going to show. Okay. Zoom. Share screen again. Okay. Nope, I don't want you here. Thank you. Or you. Or you. All these things. Why did my Chrome go away? Chrome. Not this. Technical difficulties. I have so many things open. Okay, can you go up here? Is it this? Yeah, there we go. Okay, great. This was our original mock-up design that I based off of Asana. So we built it in Canva. Ooh. There we go. So yeah, we'd come up with kind of like the different home pages. I had this idea of like doing like on your homepage, it would just tell you like what items needed to be purchased and what list they're from. And like, you know, the items that are like, you know, this week they need to be purchased. That was not a feature that we ended up getting to, but I thought it would be something kind of cool. And then yeah, we kind of created this like list of like what do we need to do? How are we going to do it? So this was like our first mock-up design, and then from here we were graciously given this design for the app in Figma. So yeah, this was created by Hannah's partner who does UI UX. So this is kind of like where we went to build on our design, which was really nice. And then she'd also designed a mobile version. There's some things that ended up getting changed or just kind of differed from, but yeah, that's our extended.
Beautiful. I love it.
demo.
I love that you all got like UI, UX help, design help. It's something that I've been thinking about. I just posted on LinkedIn for Collab Lab for a long time, is figuring out how we can get early career designers or UX folks in here to do that, so that as engineers, we can focus on engineering and we don't have to spend a bunch of time focusing on designing.
Yeah.
So you kind of like highlighted that for me, and
I
then
will
we'll see how we
say
can make that.
that I personally do love design. So that was something that was like when we got to the responsive part, I was like, don't worry about it. Like, I got it. Like, I like, this is this is fun for me. Like, let
I
me.
love that. Yeah, the design part's really fun for a lot of folks. So I love this. Great feedback. Okay. Without further ado, Team 69 still up for a second round of demos. Lovely. Thank you.
Yeah, awesome job, guys. Really love the design. Let me share my screen. I'm going to attempt to share the whole desktop this time to get some of the alerts in there. Okay, let me get back to the home page here. All right, yeah, so round two, I'll be there. We are Team 69. It's Jessica, Karen, Malia, and myself. We went with this app name here. We thought it'd be kind of funny. But yeah, this is our landing page, homepage. There's kind of just description, and then this link to learning more about the app. I'm just going to go ahead and sign in here. I've used it so many times that Google Firebase just kind of skips over that little pop-up window there, but that is where you'd see and give permissions to sign into the app. We are routed to the list page where it shows the list that the user has, and then there's the ability to create a new list. So here on creating the new list, you get this alert confirming that the list has been created, and then the list shows up down here. This list, or the list here, can be removed by clicking the remove button. Also asks you if you want to confirm, and when you do confirm, it deletes the list itself. For today, we had built this demo list here. Prior to me actually selecting these, they were kind of organized in these different categories. There's the one that is actually missing, it's conditionally rendered, is overdue. So if there isn't an item that's located in one of these kind of organizing sections, the section actually doesn't show itself. So on the list itself, the like individual list, it has the header here telling you which list you are currently viewing. It has the ability to share a list as well as add an item. This is an HTML element, dialog element that our mentor EJ had suggested us using. It for accessibility purposes, it actually traps the user inside of this modal or this dialog. So now I'm tabbing through simulating being a keyboard only user. And so it traps you actually inside of this specific element, not allowing the keyboard user to access anything behind it, behind this backdrop. So in here you can add your item, select the urgency, and then click add. So it's saying that the item actually already exists because I'm using a name that I had used previously. So I'm going to use carrots and try to add the item again. It gives you the alert that it was added successfully, and then that item can be seen here. The other thing that was interesting about the dialogue itself is we attached a listener to the escape key because the kind of like built-in functionality of the dialogue is it closes on escape, but it didn't actually tell React that the when this dialog is open, React is kind of listening for the two functions that are attached to these buttons. So we had to attach the cancel function to that escape key. So prior to doing that, when you would escape out of it and try to click add item, the dialog wouldn't appear because it thinks that the dialog is opened. So that was kind of cool to kind of to just explore some of those accessibility like features. Here we have the filter. I actually deleted, let me add applesauce. That was one that I deleted. Just so that we have two items with similar names to show that. So as you can see here, it's filtering the items that have, apple. And then once I add the S apples, it clears out applesauce since it does not match anymore. Also, the clear button appears, after starting to enter the item. And then, yeah, upon purchase, I created this, I kind of did some custom styling to the input itself and laid this clip path over the checkbox to give it some kind of unique CSS styling. Similar with the delete list feature. It's a rollover, asks you to confirm the deletion, and then removes the item once you confirm. The other thing, I wanted to show real quick. We were using this, the kind of like accessibility standard of squeezing it all the way down from left to right to about 300 pixels, and then magnifying to 200 to kind of simulate a user that might be using like a screen magnifier. And we made it responsive enough to actually have like the full functionality that a user has on like a larger size, not zoomed out. So we thought that was pretty cool how responsive we could get it. Lastly, I'll show you, I'll show you at the about page, which you can be navigated to from the home page prior to signing in. It just explains to the user how and what the app does, and how you can kind of use the different features. And then we gave credit to the image that we used on the homepage was from this StorySet website, and then also a footer here that that shouts out each of the Collabs and the Collab Lab. Before I hand it over, we have this sign out button that actually accesses the auth object from Firebase. So whichever image. As you can see here, I'm actually signed into Chrome, so it's accessing the same kind of auth object. So whatever profile image a user has in their Google account will show up here upon sign in, or a default will take its place. And then sign out here takes us back to the homepage. And then I think
If you actually want to stay there and maybe actually
yeah.
back in so I can demo the sharing the list with you.
Yes, I forgot about that. So Amalia will now share a list with me. And Firebase is so quick. There's the list right there. And then I think that's it. And then I'll just pass it over to Amalia.
Cool. All right. And I will share some of the background on our process. So we used Google Doc to just lay out our tasks for each week of the design sprint, and list any bugs that we were finding as we were working, ideas for future enhancements, which we've added to during these demos because there are just so many great ideas. And then as well, just kind of thinking about different kinds of action items, like design action items along the way, or other ideas that we had, areas for improvement, and kind of listing out the categories that we wanted to think about, all the different puns that we thought about along the way, and some completed items. We also used Figma to work through our designs. And so this kind of shows an older version of what we were thinking about. And because one of our mentors, EJ, kind of helped us think a lot about accessibility, we kind of went from having, for example, this button on the side to add an item, to having one that this would kind of move along the page as you scroll, to having one in a more centralized location with the other action buttons, which would make it more accessible and just more intuitive to use because everything's in one location. And this way, the button wouldn't cover any text as you're scrolling. I am having trouble moving through Figma.
I think if you click the hand, then you can move around.
Oh, cool. Thank you. Okay, and then we have some notes about, as we were talking about different routes and how we wanted to lay things out across different pages, all of the different colors and fonts we were considering, the layout for the homepage and the nav bar, and some design inspo. And Marty did a lot of work on the kind of global styling in terms of color and font, as well as working on those nice dialogue boxes that we saw. And then, just in terms of like overall experience, we had lots of great conversations with EJ about how we can make our app as accessible as possible. That was really a strong driving force throughout the process. And then, we just really enjoyed working together and talking to our mentors each week about all of their spicy takes on design things and different frameworks and industry standards and the job search process and all of that. And we also wanted to give a shout out to our other teammate, Jessica, who couldn't be here today, who did a ton of work on all of the date stuff, with organizing the list in different categories according to when it was last purchased and when it needed to be purchased. And I think that covers it.
Lovely. Thanks again for demoing for the second time today, everybody. Appreciate you so much for getting this recorded. Okay. If that is it, you all did an excellent, excellent, excellent job. I'm here for you if you need anything. The Collab Lab community is here for you. Stay in touch. It's lovely to see you all.
Thank you, Stacy.
Good to see you. Have a
So
really great
much.
weekend. Bye, friends.
Thank you.
So much.